The kind of cheater that you're watching on screen right now is not the biggest problem for Apex right now. There's another kind of cheater that's even more problematic and causing even more damage to your games. And today I want to showcase what that cheater causes to the game and how you can also identify a cheater. Because the biggest problem with this kind of cheater I'm about to show you is they're really hard to spot. This is the wall hacker, or the experienced wall hacker. This kind of cheater knows how to play Apex Legends, but they're using cheats secretly to get a hidden advantage that completely ruins your chance of winning games and ranking up. These cheaters are hiding in your lobbies in masses. And unlike aimbotters, which are really easy to detect and also watch when you spectate, these kinds of cheaters are harder to detect. They don't get banned as often. And when you spectate just for a few seconds, you may not know you're even dealing with one in the first place. But these wallhack cheaters are so much more problematic than you can ever think, and they're causing more damage to your games than aimbotters do. So let's take a look. We're going to spectate a wall hacker, and we're going to take a look at how we know they're a wall hacker, and then take a look at how we can further get more information to back it up, and what steps we can take to identify cheaters and find out if people are cheating or maybe not. But the crazy thing is, even with everything I'm about to show you today in this video, sometimes it's still hard to 100% be sure that the person you're watching is cheating. But at least the tools I'm going to show you in this video will help you and potentially allow you to report more cheating players. And if you report more cheating players, there's a chance that they may get banned, even if they are only using wallhack. So let's jump into the situation. I was running from a team, and I did a pretty good job to make sure that they cannot follow me. I made sure that we broke their line of sight and then changed direction and hid in a building. Now, the only way they'll be able to find me is if they have a Recon Legend or Valkyrie. So let's jump into what happens next. They don't have a Valk. Was I that obvious? Was my hiding spot that obvious? Or, I wonder what's going on here. Brother. Oh no. I wonder. How could this man find me? I made sure I went off to the right in some random building. You know, like the only way they could have known is if they scanned me or they had a Valk. Does that show up on map? I didn't put my ult down until they already knew my location. Oh, they landed on top of my head. Oh, it does make sound when you throw it? Yeah, but I didn't throw my ult until they already landed on top of my head. Like, I didn't put my ult down until I landed. You know what I mean? Oh, he's got some good angles, man. This man has some good angles. Let's see if we can find out whether this guy is straight up wall hacking. This is the main problem with Apex Legends is, well, not Apex, but cheaters in shooter games. Aimbotters are so easy to detect, and they usually do get banned pretty easily. Wall hackers, on the other hand, they're hard to detect, they don't get banned as easily, and they have more of a negative impact on your games. Because they can get angles that you never think it possible. They know exactly when and where to push. Let's have a look at this man's. This guy, let's see what he does, and we'll talk about it as it happens. Alright, he's all on his own now. What's he gonna do? He's gonna run away. Oh no. I mean, to be honest, I would do the same. If you're a natural player, the natural sequence of events now is you want to try and find a crafter, get a respawn beacon so you can get your teammates back in the game. But there's a large risk you're going to come across other players as you travel through the map, right? There is a very large risk you could accidentally walk into another squad and die. However, when you're cheating and you see everyone through walls, you will never run into another squad because you know exactly where people are, you know the right routes to take through the map, you know how to grab banners without anybody noticing you. Because you can see people through walls, you know when they're looking at you, you get that extra information, which means Players who have wall hacks will naturally just survive longer when their teammates are dead and their back's against the wall, because they will just naturally avoid all of the paths that have enemies because they can see them through walls, right? So that there keeps players longer than alive. You got to think, how many games have you had where your top 6, right? If you get top 5, you'll keep your streak going. You get more KP. You're going to keep that streak going for longer. But there's one dude who is alive who's keeping it from being top 6. And that guy somehow manages to be the last remaining player alive. If that guy ends up cheating and wall hacking his way into those top positions, he's taking you away from that top 3 placement. You're losing placement points because of cheaters hiding in a spot. You know what I mean? So that's one of the major reasons why. I mean, you know, it all starts to compound, right? And then you have the other issue of when you're fighting. If you're fighting a team and there's a team and a POI nearby, they will third-party you to try and get kills. That's very normal. Third-partying is a normal part of ranked. It's the normal flow of gameplay in Apex. Third-partying is very normal. However, experienced players who have wall hacks will third-party you when your health is really low at the perfect time, because they can see you through walls, they can see your health through walls, they can see when other players get killed through walls. They know exactly when and where to push and when not to push, because they have all of that information. You may have noticed how many times you've killed a team and then literally 0.01 seconds after the team is wiped, you get immediately pushed and you just get killed. You know, all of these issues start to add up and up and up. These wall hackers create situations that normal players wouldn't create, which makes it harder to stay alive, harder to get KP, and harder to get into this top placements late game. Now, the worst thing about this, as I'm talking about this situation, we are very suspicious of this player, but do we have 100% evidence, 100% without a shadow of a doubt that this guy is cheating? I would say I feel quite comfortable saying they're cheating, but I would not put my life on this. I would not say, like, I would not put my life on this guy saying, I know this guy's cheating, and if he isn't cheating, I will die. You know what I mean? Like, the way he's managing to be around here. Like, if I took that building right now, some dude in the distance would just shoot me and kill me. Probably. But maybe he has information to know that he can stand on that roof without much difficulty. Right? But we don't know for sure. We don't know 100% without a shadow of a doubt that this guy's cheating. He just seems a bit suspicious. And that's why wall hacking, in my opinion, is more damaging to the game than just straight up aimbots. Aimbots, it's going to ruin people's day, it's going to ruin their rank for a couple games, but it's so obvious. The devs can ban them quicker. This kind of cheat's very hard to tell. It's so hard to tell. But it makes you realize that all of those players that are wall hacking, it almost feels like they are always extremely lucky no matter what. They'll always be alive till the very end. Right? Somehow. And yet, you're the one that always gets unlucky. You're always like, why am I getting pushed from weird angles? Why am I dying here? How many unlucky situations happen to me, but not to them? And, well, you know the answer. A large portion of people are just straight up wall hacking. Right? Another example is, how many times have you crafted or scanned a survey beacon? You've looked around, doesn't seem like there's anybody there, right? But you do it and then you just suddenly get instantly beamed and die. How often has that happened to you? It's probably happened a fair amount, right? You know, happens here and there occasionally. How many times have you seen another player crafting out in the open or scanning a beacon out in the open? Probably happens maybe once or twice, but if you compare the amount of times you've been caught out scanning or crafting versus the amount of times someone has caught you, and try and add it up, you start to realize, hold up, this seems a little strange. You know? So it's just something to think about when you play Apex. You don't need a large amount of cheaters in your lobby to ruin your game. you only need a couple teams of wall hackers per match to completely change the flow of gameplay. And that is all it takes. And you can't even tell if they're cheating or not sometimes, because it's kind of hard to tell. You know, and that's one of the biggest issues in my opinion. They are causing more damage to Apex than aimbotters. I wouldn't rather die to an aimbotter, but I know that if I die to an aimbotter, I can report them, and they will get back. They will actually get banned. You can't even report this guy, and I don't even know for sure that he's cheating. Like I feel like he's a bit sus, but I don't know. Maybe he's legit, and somehow he just has a bit more information that I'm not aware of. You know? Yes. I mean, obviously we haven't looked at his level yet, which tells you a lot. We'll get to that in a second. And the spectate cam's really kind of a bit janky. Like, I mean, it's even hard to tell, like, is his aim legit? I know. But he seems to just know where everyone is. That there. Alright, we gotta replay that. We gotta replay that. He still loses the game, though. Right. Okay, bear with me. We're gonna do some investigating now. Okay, what's the first thing you can do to kind of get a bit more information to see if someone is, like, maybe a bit sus, is to take a look at their stats, okay? So if we go and take a look at this guy's profile on ApexLegendsStatus.com, we can find that this guy is a level 49. Same guy, what's his name? Go up. My Love is Trash. Same guy, level 49. So he's just casually getting through to a high level without much difficulty. Now, to further add more evidence to this, to really back up the fact that, you know, he's probably cheating, you can take a look at his previous usernames. If we take a look here, we can see this guy's previous Origin username was just a bunch of numbers and characters. This is very common with account sellers who will level up the accounts ready to play in ranked and then sell them online. They'll just spam a bunch of characters, or sometimes they have like a sequence. We may find that there's like a QGY0628 maybe, but it's usually mass-produced accounts with numbers. They'll buy the account and then they have to rename it later. So with that one moment where this guy knew exactly where he was, we were able to deduce that he's probably cheating. Now, I'm feeling more and more confident that he's cheating. But unlike an aimbot, it's still kind of hard to 100% say for sure, right? I'm like 99.9999% sure that he's cheating. But the thing is, you can't say, like, what if? You know, there's one tiny bit of doubt in my mind, right? If you're a developer, how do you deal with that situation? Because your anti-cheat probably doesn't detect it. I mean, maybe it does, but it depends what kind of cheats they have. Obviously, it's not going to get detected as easy as aimbot. You would have to micro-manage and break down every single moment in gameplay to really determine. And that's where we get brought to... hang on a minute, let me just get the right moment. That's where we get brought to this moment here. Let me open it up real quick. And we're going to take a closer look at what exactly the kind of tiny little moments you have to pay attention to really tell if somebody is cheating or not. Right, take a look at what happens here, okay? These are the tiny moments that you have to pay attention to capture wall hackers, okay? Watch this. Look at this situation. Now, you could say maybe they had comms. Once again, you don't know for sure, but take a look at how he aims this, okay? This is one of these moments where you're just like, something doesn't quite add up. Pre-aim that angle there, right? Pre-aim the Maggie on height. As he rotates on this bus, he once again pre-aims again. These are the subtle things that are really hard to pick up on. A lot of new players maybe not even realizing that he's even cheating. But he has that knowledge that they're through the wall, and is able to perfectly line up his aim so that the moment they leave cover, he's already shooting at them. You cannot fight this. If this is a good, like, imagine this guy is a good player. He knows how to play Apex. He knows how to play. His aim's okay. You cannot fight this. You can't go up against this. They know exactly the moment you leave cover. How are you supposed to peek and get damage and break their shield so you can create a push when you got people like this running about? And then when you start to realize that and you put the numbers together, it starts to make sense how brutally difficult it is to rank up. If you ever have the pleasure of playing in a game where you know 100% of the time that nobody is cheating, for example, creator events. I've taken part in creator tournaments. You have a range of skill. You have pro players, and you also have a wide range of skill across there. Those players are, without a shadow of a doubt, better than me. Like 90% of the players in these tournaments that have taken part, they're better than me. However, everything makes sense like it's supposed to because nobody's cheating, and the game feels so much better. So I don't know how they can solve this. It's a problem across all games. It's not just Apex, but that's why this game is so frustrating to me. You probably see me getting frustrated playing ranked, and I don't get frustrated easily. And it's because you know when things aren't right. You know when there's people who have an advantage. You played this game so much that you just know. You check their accounts. They got level 50, they're level 70, they're level 30, whatever it may be. They're not aimbotting, so you can't sit there on stream and say, this guy's cheating, because it just makes you look like an idiot. If you just call out every single, well, it's not going to be every player, but if you call out every time, you're like, oh, that's sus, that guy's wall hacking. It's like, for a viewer, it just makes you look like you're complaining and just calling out every player. And it's that stereotype of like streamers having too big of an ego that everybody's cheating, right? But the truth is, there are a lot of cheaters, and a lot of streamers have played the game so much that they can notice when it happens. And I try to break that down for you now, and you can see exactly the signs that tell when someone's a cheater. So if you ever die in Apex now and you feel like the way you died seems a bit suspicious and you're wondering if the player's cheating, you can spectate them and use the methods that we use in this video to see if they're pre-aiming in strange ways. No real player is able to always line up their aim so the moment they peek, they're going to hit the enemy player. Because you have to remember, even if they know the location of where that player is, that other player is going to be moving around and strafing. There should not be this perfect movement from my crosshair behind a wall to my crosshair on where the enemy is 100% of the time. And that's the one telling tale that wall hackers have. The silver lining is most of these cheaters are only in the highest level of play, and you can still get away with playing pubs and LTMs and not really worrying about it. So it's mainly only in high level ranked. So that's pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.